Hello everyone, this is Two Jane Handyman. My name is Cameron. This is my dad Steven, and today we are talking about a chainsaw chain.
Okay, we're not talking about the different sizes of chain. We're not going to talk about the different types of chain or the different brands. We're not here to try to show you how to sharpen the chain. What we're here to talk about affects all types of chains, whether they're different brand names, different sizes, dull, sharp, it doesn't matter. This affects every chain and probably everybody that ever messed with the chainsaw. It is the most frustrating and hated thing. It is the dreaded tangled chain. Lift that up. When you get your chain back from getting it sharpened and you throw it in your pickup truck, maybe you forget about it, it rolls around a little bit, gets tangled up, or you buy a new chain and somebody from the factory just stuffed it in that box and you pull it out and this is what it looks like. This tangled chain frustrated me for years. Always wanting to work and you try to mess with it and you just made it worse and worse and worse. And all of a sudden just poof, it just comes out like magic. And you're sitting there like, what the heck? What did I do? How did that happen? Well, we figured out how to do it. And we figured out how it happened. And we put it into 5 easy, simple tips. And we're about to show you those tips today. Stay tuned. Tip 1. The chain can only do 2 things. Once you understand what the chain can do, it makes it a whole lot easier to untangle it. So that you can't tie the chain in a knot. It's not like a rope. You can't twist the chain together. The only 2 things this chain can do is go over itself or under itself. So this is the right side, and this is my right hand. So the right side can either go over the left and make loops, or the right side, of course, vice versa, can go under the left and make a loop. So that's the only way the loops can be made. That's the only 2 things the chain can do. The chain can either go under itself or over itself. Tip 2, always think of your knots or your loops, whatever you want to call them, knots or loops. Always think of them as a pair. Don't ever think of them as one. If you try to untangle just one, you're just going to get frustrated as all get out. So even if I have 2 loops right here, even if I take one side of the chain and try to only make 1 loop, I'm only going to try to make 1 loop. If I take the chain, it's always going to make 2. So always think of your chain or when it gets tangled up in your knots as a pair. Tip 3, when you go to untangle your chain, always start with the loop pointing to the outside. Don't ever start with these loops. See, we have four loops or 4 knots in it. You got 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. Always start with your outside loops. So you just look at your chain and you look at your loops and you say, what do I have to do to untangle these loops, get these loops out of here? So by looking at it and this is my right hand. So I need to take this right side. I don't know if you can see that very well. I need to bring it over the left. And these 2 loops should come out. So if I take my right side, bring it over the left, those loops come out. And the inside loops now become outside loops. And the same concept applies. You look at your chain and you say, what do I have to do? I need to bring my left side over my right, or this side of the chain over my right. And those loops should come out, just like that. Tip 4. Now, I don't really know if this is a tip or just something to be mindful of, but always look at your chain, and your chain tells you, of course, what you need to do. Always make sure that your loops are symmetrical, or the same. And this is what I mean. If you go to any part, we have our 2 loops here, and you go to any part of the chain, and you follow the chain through the loop, it should be the same on each side. So if we go to this side, and we follow the chain back to this loop, you could tell this chain, I don't know if you can see it very well, this chain goes under the other chain, the other side of the chain to make the loop. Same thing over here. If you follow this same side of the chain to this loop, it's the same thing. It goes under this loop. Vice versa this way. If you follow it, it goes over. This side, follow it, it goes over. This is a symmetrical chain, and it's very easy to get out. You just make your loops bigger, flip it out. Tip 5, this is what I call a twisted chain. Now, this chain is really not twisted, because like we talked before, you can't twist a chain. But I don't really know what else to call it. So, what a twisted chain is basically an unsymmetrical chain. And we'll follow the chain, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So, if we go to one side right here, we follow this to this loop, you'll see that this side of the chain is going under the other side to make this loop. So if you go to the same side of the chain, you follow it to the other loop, you'll see right there that it's going over. So your loops are not the same. But this tip shows you how to get this chain symmetrical again. Okay, it's very simple. It's a two-step process. What we're going to do is we're going to find our outside loop, just like this. This loop right here is pointing to the outside. You ask yourself, what do you have to do to get this loop out? Once you get this loop out, it's going to make another loop, but we want it to, so our chain is going to be symmetrical again. So we're going to get this loop out, and we're going to put another one in. All we do is flip it, just like that. So now we have two loops. We still have two loops. We didn't get nothing out, but we made the chain similar again. So let's make sure it's similar. We follow our chain, go over here. It's going over. I don't know if you can see, but it's going over right there. On this side, you follow it. Same thing, it's going over. The chain is going over to create that loop. Once you do that, it's very simple. You take the chain, you make big ears, just like that, big loops, and you just flip it out. Okay, now we have a extremely tangled up, just mangled up chain. So we're going to take all the 5 tips and we're going to apply them all to get this chain untangled. I hope nobody ever runs into a chain this tangled. It has a bunch of loops in it. So let's just kind of get it out, get it spread out a little bit and see what we have. So, okay, this don't look too bad. Looks like we have 4 loops. So just like before, we're always going to go to the one on the outside. But this kind of looks a little funny. Okay, so we have 3 going to the outside and 1 going to the inside. When you have so many loops like this, go to the outside. Sometimes you just got to try it to figure out which one that works. So I have these 2 to the outside right here. So let's go ahead and try these 2. So if we look at it, we got to bring this side of the chain over this side of the chain. And these 2 loops should come out. Okay, they come out. Now we have 2 other loops. So this looks like a twisted chain right here. So what we have to do is start on this outside loop. Looks like we got to bring this chain over to that chain. Bring it on over here. Pull this loop out. It's going to make this loop right here. Our chain becomes symmetrical again. All right. Just make the loops bigger. Flip it on out, just like that.
Thank you for watching the video. Hope these tips helped you. If it did, please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. Thank you for watching.